nothing in favor of Arsenal. Arsenal are trying to continue from where they stopped last season. Of course, Arsenal are champions of the EPL, current champions, and this is the new season, 2026-2027. Arsenal whitewashed City. Of course, this is football. And today, we're going to try and analyze Arsenal's performance, talk about their new signings, talk about the fact that Arsenal started the game without 3 of their first 11 players and how they were able to take City to the cleaners. And it was a sweet victory. So, Bob, what's your opinion about Arsenal's performance today? And what do you have to say about Zolis, their new man?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for letting me, be a part of your podcast. Yeah, amazing victory. A lot of questions remains after this match. Amazing performance from the players. I was looking now on the statistic. Very interesting how the both managers they set up their teams. Yeah, new signings. Troll is amazing. 2 assists in his debut, Also, Bruno Guimaraes, a very good first half. I hope nothing. I've seen him with a bag of ice on his right thigh. I hope it is not something serious, So, yeah, because it was brought, to substitute the players that they will miss due to the injuries. Come back for Saka. Come back for Declan Rice. What can I say? I'm happy with the result.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. So, talking about Arsenal's performance today, I don't want to neglect or ignore the fine performance of Lewis Kelly in the midfield. Of course, naturally, he's left fullback. He's not a natural defensive midfielder. But somehow, towards the end of last season, we saw Mikel Arteta deploy him in the defensive department of the midfield. And he was exceptional in that short period last season. And now the first official game of the English Football League season, the Community Shield final, against a high-profile team like City, and you are using Lewis Kelly in the defensive department of the midfield, that's the central midfield role, or defensive midfield role rather, and he was able to put up that kind of performance of a natural defensive midfielder. What is your own say about his performance, and do you think in a long run he might or he will be a perfect replacement for Declan Rice?
Yes, well, Skelly, he started at the academy as a defensive midfielder, and after that it was reprofiled by Arteta as a left back. Well, he had great performance, if you remember, in the Champions League. He had very good matches. He played the final. Today, amazing, And now, let's report to the rumors that they were giving him, offered to Manchester United and Chelsea, So, yeah, great comeback, and our star boy delivered again. Amazing pass, amazing pass.
Amazing pass.
Now, I will have a question for you, David,
All right.
After today's match, what do you believe, Did Arsenal play amazing today, or Manchester City was poorly? Because the timing of the goals, the way the goals they've been conceded by Manchester City. So what is your view on this?
First of all, I would like to give kudos to Arsenal and congratulate them on the sweet victory over City, winning the first title of the season. But I must confess, the goals were very, very, very easy. If you ask me, they were very, very easy. The City side we used to know, of course, they are very good defensively. I don't want to blame anybody as per se, because this is the first game of the season and they have a new coach. And I believe majority of their players are still trying to come back. They had 13 players in the World Cup, and majority of them have not really trained with the first team for a long time. They just got back from their break.
I have another question for you, if you allow me.
All right.
What do you think about the response of Maresca, when he brought, it was a very big surprise for me, when he brought Jack Grealish, that was his response at the break when the score was already 2-0. What do you think about that?
I think this is the best time for him to try Jack Grealish, and not in the season proper. Because if he cannot perform in a game like this before the season starts properly, then there's no need keeping him in the team. It's better you let him go on loan. But I think Jack Grealish coming on in the second half was was good to test his confidence level and see how well you can try integrating back into the sport. That's one. But I think where the problem lies is if Maresca goes into the season doing making substitutions like this under pressure, he's going to have it. He's going to have a very very tough season because considering 2 goals in the first
I
half
agree.
due to
I agree
victory.
with you. I think what remains after this match is that Arsenal is going very confident into the new season. I was with a friend just before the match, and he was telling me that the odds for winning a back-to-back title, which for Arsenal didn't happen since the 30s, believe it or not. They've been increased, and the things they are looking a little bit concerning for Manchester City. Even they have a team full of talent, full of quality, but the transition from Pep Guardiola to Enzo Maresca doesn't seems to work at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Changing from moving from Pep Guardiola to Maresca is a huge risk if you ask me, because you're not going to compare. If you compare both coaches and their level of experience, Maresca is still a baby in the game of football. But you don't want to deviate from a system. Man City is known to play systematic kind of football. And the fact that Maresca was under the tutelage of Pep Guardiola was a big reason for them to put him as the first option of replacement for Pep Guardiola. Is it going to be a difficult season for Maresca? Absolutely, it's going to be a difficult season for Maresca, because if you look at the record of Pep Guardiola at Man City, 10 years, 29, 30 trophies. That's averaging 3 trophies in a season. So it is going to be a very, very difficult task for Maresca, a very, very difficult task. Talking about Arsenal going into the season with high confidence, and I think Arsenal are favourite to win the league because they have consistency going for them. They have the best coach in the league. They have the best defense in the league. Arguably, they have the best crop of midfielders in the league. The only problem I'm having with Arsenal is in their final third position. From the left, the centre forward, and the right wing forward. Zolis, good game today. If you can keep up with this kind of performance in the season, I think the left side of their wing play is easily covered. But talking about centre forward, Kai Havertz is not naturally a number 9. He's only a false 9. And if you are playing against a team like PSG that have good defenders that are pacey, strong, and can use the ball, he's going to find it difficult, just the way we saw it in the Champions League final proper. Gyökeres is not having the best of time at Arsenal, but he can still pick. He can still pick. Now the major problem is on the right wing. Saka is not having the best of time since last season. I think he scored 7 goals in the league, which is not good for a winger like him. Madueke is still new in the team and trying to build his confidence. And I think he's not the kind of player you want to bank on, but he's the kind of player that can be a good squad player. Talking about Madueke. If only Saka can come back to the Saka we used to know, that very confident Saka, then Arsenal, for me, they are looking good. This is a sweet victory, enough to put them on that level. And I think they have consistency going for them. And I won't be surprised if they end up winning the league this season.
Well, clearly, a lot of people, we are looking at the new signing, we are looking about Bruno Guimaraes. We've seen he doesn't have the last pass at the moment. Elliot Anderson, I couldn't believe it was up. If you didn't look on the starting lineup, you didn't know if he played or not,
Absolutely, yeah.
Very, very, yeah. Not a very good performance from him, but like I said, they need to adjust. When we are speaking about the managers, it is like a deja vu. It is what I've seen at Manchester United when Sir Alex Ferguson left. At Arsenal with Arsene Wenger leaving, it is a period. It's very hard to replace a successful manager in Premier League. It is the hardest league in the world. It's not only one team performing like let's say in Germany or in Spain, where 2 or 3 teams they are fighting for the title. So yeah, it will be a period of transition. It is very interesting for me new season. Let's see what Liverpool will do. There are rumors that Barcola's transfer will finish, you know, so they will add them to the team. They have a new manager, Tottenham, as well. They have a very impressive transfer campaign, and yeah, something to looking forward for the next season.
All right. Talking about teams that have done good signings this season, I think we are looking down on Chelsea. First of all, they got a young manager in the person of Xabi Alonso that had a very, very fantastic record as coach of Bayern Leverkusen. He didn't really have it going his way as manager of Real Madrid, and I don't really blame him for that because the player power as Real Madrid.
He done an invincible with Bayer Leverkusen. Unbelievable performance, you know.
So I think he's coming with that kind of system to Chelsea. And if you look at the signings he has done and look at the pattern of play Chelsea had under Conte, he's trying to bring back that same system of football. And if you watch their last preseason game against Real Sociedad, I think that was yesterday, in the early hours of yesterday, you will see that there's a difference in the way they approach games. I don't know how to. I think there's a difference in their mentality. Yes, that's the best language because they went ahead.
Indeed, like I said, I'm looking for the next season. You know, a lot of interesting transfers there. They had Morgan Rogers. You know, it was the main target for Arsenal until one point when they succeeded to lure him to Stamford Bridge. Maxime Lacroix will bring a little bit of experience in that defending line. It is what they're missing. You know, they have a very good squad, a lot of talent, but they're missing people with experience. You know, to give a little bit of confidence of the group.
Yeah. I think Lacroix inclusion in Chelsea is going to be a huge one for Chelsea. Though he's not largely very experienced, but he had a very fantastic season with Crystal Palace last season. And I think they won the conference.
Let's not forget Mudryk is back.
Mudryk is back as well, but Mudryk has not played for over 2 years, so he's going to be
Mikhailo Mudryk. His ban finished, so he's back on training.
But I think the players
it will be interesting to see if.
I think the players Chelsea will be banking on this season would be João Pedro. If they can keep Enzo Fernandez and don't let him go, I think he's going to be a key player in the team. And I am tipping Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer to add that flair to Chelsea this season. What do you think?
Yeah, apparently they are very good friends, you know.
So do you see them partnering together and taking Chelsea to the next level?
Let's see. Do you think this match and the way City show up today, it will force Enzo Maresca to push for Enzo Fernandez? Because obviously the midfield didn't function today for Manchester City.
Yeah, I think it's going to force the board to ask some questions and try to push for the signing of Enzo Fernandez. But I don't think Fernandez will want to join City after watching today's game. I don't think so. Because there's a huge difference in the City under Pep and the City we saw under Enzo Maresca against Arsenal some minutes ago. I don't think Enzo Fernandez will want to make that switch right away. Probably as the season progresses, they see how Man City are able to cope with their new signings and gel as a team. Maybe in the mid-season transfer window or next summer transfer window, he might just join them. But this season, I can stake my money and tell you that Enzo Fernandez won't join City, even if City try to push for his signing.